could you let me just pretend?
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday. And I just realized something. I should really change the stream title. Because it should really be not Phoenix Wright's Ace Attorney, but it should be Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney. Because that's what we're doing right now. Hello there, Pigs. Hello, Shard, and hello, Ellie. So, I hope you all had a good day. I just need to get everything going. Oh, come on. I have to go digging for Ace Attorney again. Phoenix. There we go. Aww. Wait, buffering? Wait, what? Things are going well. I've been holed up at work and doing all manners of things. There are always things happening at the onset of things. So let's get the camera going. There we go. And oh, I hope things resolve themselves, Pix, because that is unfortunate. So, we are going to be playing Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney today, and it's going to be fantastic. My, Mr. Loris feels that way about me. Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I just... hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was that he saw in the light of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Loris is in the witness stand today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carry out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It truly wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Dirksneam, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed... Don't worry, I made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people and believe until the bitter end. That is what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task that have been entrusted. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. Very well, sir. I'll leave my defense in your capable hands. Oh, you have so many things to do. He's not going to ask. This is so amazing. I'm looking forward to this. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed seem to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem that this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I am ready to announce my verdict at this time. The court finds the defendant... The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Franziska von Karma. prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma. Yes, Pix, this is going to be a game. Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma, that is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such thing, such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't? But I'm sure once before... Ah! I told you there is no such weakling. What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip at... I have no objections to the whip. You don't. The prosecution can wield such a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee, but there's still only one truth, and that is what I stand here today to prove. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today, but looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add one more thing I'm not sure about. People acting bizarre in my court. Ah, the stage is set. Now, continue with your proceedings, Your Honor. Very well. Well, Miss von Karma, please give an outline of this case. This is amazing. I just love this part. It is so fun. With as little whipping as possible. The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Alice Duxnem. Here, her body was found in the Hazakura temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture, it's the weapon in question, correct? Very well, the court accepts this photo of the crime scene. You almost missed the other judge. There is no mistake that this was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. I just love... So I'm going to press each and every single thing on this one just because I want to get every dialogue out of Edgeworth as possible because it's so much fun. Witness, state your name and occupation, please. Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Gods. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Ah! The courtroom is a garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave the sanctuary at once. You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it, to be honest. There's no way little dear Iris could do anything like that. Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about Tell us about your movements that night, eh? I just can't. I should get someone in to do it, you know, a southerner accent, because I think he's from down under. He's got to be from down under. Aboot, or is he Canadian? I have no idea. I'm not too familiar with the linguistics of, like, you know, Canadian and like all that stuff. We should ask Farnwell, but she isn't here. Oh well. Ah yeah, we can ask MP, but MP isn't here either. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to the Hazagura temple. There's no bath in the inner temple, you see, and I need a long hot soak. It was after I'd finished and I was just heading back, that's when I saw it. Yeah, this case is long. So it was simply a coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounded like a pretty important statement she just made. There's no problem. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle, are you now, Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Yeah, Goddard is not as, like, fun as Francesca and Edgeworth. What is this in the temple? Okay, the judge is Canadian. Well, I'm gonna have to apologize to MP for just absolutely butchering, like, you know, Canadian, but, like, I can't do a Canadian accent. We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam. Oops. In order to do that, a place of strong spiritual power is required. There is one small temple across the Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with this process? It's all quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising. Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. A tutor with a whip in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place? Violently? That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in the winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife or fork during cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again? That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. You left Iris to help? With what? What do you think? The acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 PM, so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper. Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple? Well, the job is simply to watch over the acolytes so they don't pass away. Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met with Iris at the Inner Temple, correct? Yes, yes. She was a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. So, you returned to the Hazagura temple in order to take a bath. My bag is to blame for everything. It's do or be done in this kind of world after all. How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking? My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? Ah, this is why I have to watch the young ones. What are you going on about? I was... pathetic, Miles Edgeworth. The lowest of the low. Is there some kind of kick me sign stuck to the defense bench? Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away long from my post. I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand? So... Yes, that's correct, Pix. And he should know. The crime took place in a courtyard, correct? When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take the winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. And that's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case. That certainly seems to be true. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what that is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness' memory and observation skills are. Simple. Let's see. we can't apply bullshit clause because Edgeworth doesn't have, you know, divine bullshit intervention going on for him. Let's see. But Iris never went to the inner temple. Or did she? I can't remember if she did. Let's see. After death, find that stuff going on. Yeah, Iris is like the only thing I can think about is Iris. Iris is at the magazine? Oh. I just elected to ignore that whole thing, you know, Pix. I just like puns? No, I will ignore them. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all. Well, don't worry, I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho at Hazagura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like to explain you something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No. She said that? A defendant or witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazagro Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. All people lie. That is my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie, which means we must call your memory into question. Francisca can't hit her brother. Dear, you're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what I... My memory's perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Then, please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. Let us return to the cross-examination. Well, that can't possibly be the thing, because she gave her hood to Phoenix. We're going to press on it regardless, though, but still. Are you sure that you're not making a mistake? You, young man, you need to get your estimation of me up from the floor. Iris always wears the same clothes. The smallest thing out of place would have stood out like a sore thumb to me. You're making a mistake, thinking that I made a mistake. An excellent finish there, witness. Still, I have to wonder. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wait a minute. Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss von Karma? More cute, slightly cute, confused, slightly startled edge, Miles. I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung. What? You know what? Huh?
Is he the defendant?
He is the defense attorney right now, so yes, we are Miles Edgeworth, which is why the stream is titled Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney. Oh. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw should have been missing this very hood. Yes, she's only barely paying attention. It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order! Order in the court! What? Sister? This hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do not make too many of them. I see. A stockpile. A surplus would say. Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned. This is quite strange. If there was a surplus hood of hoods, then she should have worn one of those. There's no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call a testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. He's not human, he's Canadian. Those seeds of doubts are start sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. I finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the inner temple. As I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard and I took a look, and Iris was, oh, Mystic Elise, with that sword, of all things. Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out her window. That's not true though, because like the body, like, you know, you truly saw a terrible sight, didn't you? Let's press her about her bath. Lewd. No. Yes, Pix. Ah, if I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma's whipping Mr. Edgeworth into in court. And me seeing that all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everybody by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? How far is it from your room to the inner temple? Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge. Still, you never made it back there that night, did you? That's right. I was heading along the walkway towards the main hall. Oh. You say you heard a noise. Thump, just like that. That could only be the sound of the victim falling. It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can't even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump, just like that. But then, couldn't this noise you have heard been the snow falling to the ground? I never thought of that. Yeah. Ah! The next one to laugh gets a whipping. Well, whatever the sort of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and... This is the second time that witness has testified to seeing the defendant, but some doubt remains in these claims. Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to... The murderer who stabbed the victim with a sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw as clearly as you can. Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time. Please don't keep us in suspense. Her hood! Her hood? That's right! It's coming back to me! Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood! I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right? Ugh. You dug your very own grave, Miles Edgeworth.